sees a chick playing basketball, right? He gets out. He's not been out even a month, and what does he do? He sends Trump a message. Now listen, if anybody knows that somebody is in danger, it is the man that is internationally selling arms to assassins and mercenaries and hitmen. That's his job. That's what he did for Russia. He sent Donald Trump a message and said, I believe your life is in danger. He means it. If anybody knows, that man knows. But make no mistake, that reflects to you. When Donald Trump said, they're coming after you, but basically they have to go through me, look at what they're doing. They're trying to go through that man. I believe the people standing here are worth their salt. I believe that if you took the time to be here today, you accurately represent America. The actual America, our America, the one that they're trying to take from us. Yeah. And I believe that all of us say, you've got to do it through us. You want this nation? You come through us. You may be able to harass a politician, but I promise you, to all of the FBI that have become traitors, to everyone in the Department of Justice who wants my countrywomen and men to view me as an enemy, look at me when I tell you this. You're damn right I am. You don't like my nation? You're doing everything you can to make sure that all of our patriots are locked up from J6 to all these other cases? You're damn right I'm your enemy. And I'll do everything I can to raise the ire of the American people, all of the people that will stand with me, that will preserve this nation, a nation given to us and blessed by God. I think that means I gotta go. I think that means my time's up. It's like the golf show.
You're fine, buddy. We got all the time in the world.
Thank you. Thank you.
Court for his role on January 6th. The fake news media smeared him and his name, but that man is with us today. Let's welcome Steve Billingsley. Stand up next to you, and if it hurts you today, 'cause there ain't no doubt. Let's let this man. God bless the USA. God bless the USA.
Sit down for a minute. I have back pain. So, I need to sit down for a minute. My back pain.
Well, I got a big mouth too. Having technical difficulties. Part of the January 6th prisoners. I had them show up at my house on August 13th at 6 a.m. in the morning when she thought it was the power company. No, it was 45 agents. Right there alone should tell you that what they want to waste their money on. Our tax money. I bet they spent $45,000 just to take me to Wheeling when I could have drove down there for what they did to me. But I ended up pleading guilty, and that's what they're forcing all of them to do. Because they can go and say, when it comes to election time to their base, well, look, we got them all on guilty charges. But at the same time, we watch cities blow up, don't we?
Yeah, but if we would have been able to have change of venue like they're fighting for now, it would have been okay. I think that you would have been able to fight it. But since it was in D.C., you wasn't able to fight it.
Just to go on vacation, we got to go to the back for TA and be specially searched. I mean, trust me, and
we've been put through the ringer. Seriously.
Even the TA, they're just, they're up to here with it. But what are we going to do? We're going to do what we always do. We're still going to fight. Some of us are going to fight no matter what we can do. But now listen with that thing. That's why I don't join that shit. I think the most important thing is to still vote. No matter what. I know there's people that are discouraged about voting. Me and Rajay's talked to a bunch of them. They just think, well, but their vote don't count. I feel like it didn't, but hey, our state won what we had to do. It was the other states, like these people here in Pennsylvania. You guys got robbed. Dude, Featherman, he can't have a conversation with a bucket.
Yeah, no. And your governor is something else too on top of that. You know, it's crazy.
He doesn't know where he is. No, he don't know where he's at.
No.
But
That's what Pennsylvania's trying to do. So hopefully we can get Pennsylvania, get back on the red. But the most important thing is we got to do is vote. So that's all I got, man.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks for it.
There you go. The English language, pretty funny thing. There's one silent K at night, two silent K's in knick-knack, and three silent K's in Democrat. First and foremost, I want to formally endorse Donald J. Trump for President of the United States in 2024. My name is Ryan McLean, and I've been fighting the anti-freedom and far leftist establishments in Ohio since 2018, when I was 19 years old. I have and always will stand up for individual liberty, freedom, values, and the America First ideals that make Ohio great and America the greatest country in the world. I am fighting for a government that's so small you barely know it exists at all. If there is no victim, there is no crime, and your victim cannot be society like the left claims. Sorry. The utilitarian left wants to deplete America of its liberty. They will lie and use logical fallacies such as straw man and emotional appeal in an attempt to make you comfortable giving up your freedom. They will come for your guns, your right to speak, your right to be left alone. And just when you think they couldn't go any lower, they are trying to change and come after your children as early as kindergarten. Oh, thank you. Is this thing working?
Yep.
All right, I will continue. I have a message for these big government leftist authoritarians. We are going to follow Thomas Jefferson's advice, and we will not sacrifice liberty for a false sense of safety. Not now and not ever. Like many Americans, I am proud to stand up for the Bill of Rights, and I will continue to stand up for the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is there to safeguard our liberty, and the Second Amendment gives us the physical tools we need to protect ourselves and the Constitution should the government overstep the little role it was granted by our founding fathers. The Second Amendment was written so we could shoot at tyrants should the government become abusive. And this is a rare incident, by the way, but when racist cops broke into Amir Locke's home in Minneapolis, Minnesota, unannounced without a warrant, Locke attempted to use a gun to defend himself against his abusive local government. Hey, Democrats, did his Black Lives Matter? Or do we get to ignore him since his story doesn't fit a big government left-wing narrative? Politicians in Ohio are trying to take your Second Amendment away, citing fear. But remember that fear is the same mentality that awarded us COVID mandates and vaccine mandates. Our children are safest when adults have the power to defend them. If you outlaw or even restrict guns, then by legal definition, only criminals have weapons. Are you comfortable with only criminals having guns? I want our students to live, which is why we should be fighting for our teachers to have the right to defend our students. AR-15s, bump stocks, they are not your enemy. The enemy is banning those objects, which will in turn only grant those who are breaking the law access to guns. Just check out the black market. There is no such thing as a common sense restraint on the Bill of Rights. The Constitution is meant to restrain the government and not the other way around. It was founding father Thomas Jefferson who said there is no justification for taking away individuals' liberty in the guise of public safety. We refuse to trade our liberty and freedom for left-wing comfort. When the radical left has taken all your guns, they're going to come for your children next. Hell, they're already trying. Leftist-controlled school districts all across America are implementing hateful ideologies such as critical race theory and incorrect gender ideologies onto your children. I'm going to debunk this one step at a time. Critical race theory essentially argues that because one is a minority, they are unable to succeed without government assistance. That's equating race to a physical handicap, and it's racist. It's disgustingly racist. One could argue that this is racist sympathy. Oh, let me help you. You can't do it without a white person because you're black. That's what the left's saying. It is wrong and racist to compare being a minority to a handicap. You are not born at a disadvantage due to race in America. White privilege is false, it's a myth, and does not exist. I get. Is it my turn? You're good. All right. Okay. If the school district tries telling my son, who is born of both Turkish and Japanese descent, that he somehow has white privilege, we are going to have a problem. The schools are also attempting to change the genders of children as early as kindergarten onward. They will make it seem normal and okay to change a child's full identity, including how they look, how they dress, their entire name. And here's the kicker, boys and girls. They claim this is for the mental well-being of that child. Let me tell you something. I didn't break myself through emotional trauma to get a bachelor's of science in psychology, only to watch the mental health world recommend lying to yourself as a temporary fix for anxiety. If you suffer from any form of identity crisis, thank you. If you suffer from any form of identity crisis other than gender identity disorder, the proper treatment is psychotherapy and sometimes medication if connected to psychosis. However, when you suffer from gender dysphoria, it seems the proper treatment is justifying the symptoms of
Nobody's watching, but oh well.
That's bullcrap. You treat something you want to recover from, not justify it. I believe in individual liberty. I don't care what adults do to their own bodies and in their own homes. You don't get to shove your sexual lifestyle down the throats of anyone, and especially not onto children. That's pedophilia.
You're right, 100%.
I believe in educational freedom, and that's why I support school choice in Ohio. We need to get the backpack bill passed and signed into law. Yes. Imagine if our school districts actually had to fight for each student to keep revenue coming to the schools. Just maybe the school districts might listen to the parents and not indoctrinate or abuse children. There are several studies on childhood education to back this up, but let me discuss personal experience for a little bit. I was bullied horrendously in both middle school and high school. I wanted to tell the school district I was being hurt, but unfortunately I was met with, "I'm sorry, Ryan, if we don't see the bullying, there's nothing we can do about it." That would be like telling a store manager, "I'm sorry, we didn't see the robbery, we can't fix it." I wish I was the exception, but unfortunately I hear about it on the campaign trail all the time. I know those parents are not lying when they try to protect their child from the abuse only to receive truancy notes of juvenile court in the mail. The same thing happened to me and many people that I know. The only goal compulsory education laws serve is to achieve control of your child's life and make your child a slave to the state. Yes, our children should stay in school. It is important as role models for our children that we insist our children receive a proper education. Another reason to oppose COVID mandates. It's the job of the parent to ensure our children stay in school. The government playing the role of the nanny only results in less freedom for you as the parent and more institutionalized trauma for your child. Still don't believe that truancy laws are outdated and barbaric? Take out your dictionary and look up the original meaning of the word truant.
It's snowing.
Truant is derived from the French word.
It's freaking snowing right now. Like, are you kidding me?
Delinquent and other abhorrent terms. We should not be referring to our youth as parasites. If we as Ohioans wish to see our youth succeed and trust their elders, we cannot insult them with outdated legal definitions. As a not too long ago high school graduate myself, 2017, I saw far too often where truancy laws only serve to negatively impact students who are suffering from some sort of mental distress such as depression, anxiety, and bullying. I watched as friends were threatened with the cold arm of the law for missing school, when the reason these students were absent was they attempted suicide last week due to illegal threats from the school district.
Yeah, that's
I watched his fellow students receive legal consequences and threats of jail time simply for trying to escape bullying, an issue far too often looked over by school districts, of whom are fearful of getting a bad report card from the state. Yes, our children should stay in school. It's the job of the parents to ensure our children stay in school, not government. To prove my concerns, a study from the Center of Epidemiology found that pure anxious school refusal was associated with depression and separation anxiety disorder. The studies back this up. Limited government works. We cannot forget the assault on our freedom in 2020. At the start of March 2020, March 16th and 15th around there, our lives were suddenly brought to a halt. Mike DeWine declared a state emergency, thus immediately changing the lives of Ohioans forever. Families were not able to leave their homes unless it was for what the government declared essential travel. All businesses that the government declared to be non-essential shut down, meaning that you could legally shop at Walmart, but not mom and pops.
yeah.
resulting in mom and pops to suffer damages that may be irreversible. This didn't just affect your local convenience store. It negatively impacted the economy in ways we still notice. Fast forward to today. And stores are still suffering. The economy is still suffering.
Our economy sucks.
You know, I almost have to laugh when the Democratic Party claims to stand up for minority rights. Since when do a few people in power get to decide what is the best solution for everyone else? Why do a few leftists get to tell millions of minority Americans how they must think in order to be accepted by their own people? That is a racist and collectivist demand, and how dare anyone who does this claim to be combating racism? And stores are still suffering. The economy is still suffering.
Our economy sucks.
You know, I almost have to laugh when the Democratic Party claims to stand up for minority rights. Since when do a few people in power get to decide what is the best solution for everyone else? Why do a few leftists get to tell millions of minority Americans how they must think in order to be accepted by their own people? That is a racist and collectivist demand, and how dare anyone who does this claim to be combating racism or standing up for social justice? You know who you are. The truth is, progressivism fails because legislating for the corruption of society excludes the marginalized every single time. The smallest minority on earth is the individual. And if you fail to stand up for individual rights, you also fail to stand up for minority rights. We need to stand up for human life. We need to understand the framers of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights understood that in order to have liberty and pursue happiness, one must be alive first. That's why it's life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness in that order.
Yep. And God, family, country.
I am proud to take a stand in the defense of all life, from conception until natural death. The truth is, there is no right to choose any child's death regardless of developmental stage, regardless of location, whether that child be in the womb or outside the womb. I support the recent Supreme Court decision last year to end Roe v. Wade, but it's not enough. We need to put an end to the practice of abortion in Ohio and across America. There is no excuse for the murder of the innocent. Abortionists argue this is an issue of bodily autonomy. Bodily autonomy cannot exist if you're rejected the chance to live. I have always stood in favor of individual liberty. Our founding fathers never intended for Americans to trust their government. The entire point of the Constitution is to recognize government as a necessary evil to be restrained and minimized as much as possible. I am fighting for liberty. A world where as long as you don't hurt others, you are not punished by Uncle Sam. A world where gay and married couples can defend their marijuana fields with fully automatic machine guns. I'm going to end with this. Ronald Reagan once said, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. I don't know about you, but I don't want to follow the socialist herd and let that generation be my own. My name is Ryan McClain, and I'm running for state representative in District 17 of Ohio to stand up for liberty, for the people, and for the America First Trump agenda.
I think particularly in this age of social media, there are talkers and there are doers. And by being here on a Sunday in the cold and in the snow, you guys are proving that you are the doers. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here. As Ryan said, my name is Connor Royce. I work for Turning Point Action. A lot of you have probably heard of Turning Point USA, doing great work on our college and high school campuses. We are the sister organization founded by Charlie Kirk in 2019. We're the political arm of Turning Point. So in 2022, we were very, very happy to endorse Senator J.D. Vance here in the state of Ohio. He's doing fantastic things in the U.S. Senate.
Yes, he is.
Our headquarters is actually in Arizona. We were also proud to endorse Carrie Lake, who Carrie needs our prayers and our constant intercession as she goes through her legal battles. And like President Trump in 2020, we know that Carrie won in 2022.
Yep, she did. In Arizona, she should be the governor.
On my way up here, I had written a speech and put some remarks together. But as I went through it, I thought that it was quite symptomatic of what conservative politics is today. What our politicians and our personalities really fail to understand. You know, we understand the grievances that we have with this administration and the issues that we have in the country right now. You know, families deciding between filling up their tank and feeding their kids, an invasion at our southern border that has resulted in the worst drug epidemic in history, and radical sex and gender idealists who cancel you if you don't conform to their beliefs. And in many cases, as we saw in Nashville weeks ago, they will try to kill you if you don't agree with what they have to say.
Yeah.
And I think really what people fail to address is the root of this problem, and that's that for many Americans, and in particular the people that we send to Washington and Columbus to represent us, is a failure to understand or remember where power comes from. And I won't mince any words, and I think everybody here understands this, is that first and foremost, power comes from our Almighty God, and there's no question about it.
Amen. Amen.
But it's also derived from one body and one body only, and that's we the people. And I think our elected officials have forgotten that.
They have.
You know, I think all of us at one point or another have lost faith in our legislative bodies, in our executives. But as I said, power comes from us, from the people. And I think with that divine right to give power to our elected officials, we also have a duty to serve.
You must be punished.
Now, one of the great pleasures of my job is I get to travel across this great state, talking with particularly county party leaders in all corners of Ohio.
I got 3 people.
And I can tell you this, that there is a strong need and a desire from these people for us here today to serve. And so I'm really proud to talk about our mission with Turning Point Action in 2023, and that's plugging patriots like you into our county central committees. As I said, you go to places like Franklin County, Montgomery County, where I'm from, and you look at these central committee rosters, they're only half full, only 40% full. By becoming a part of that body, you have an opportunity to change the direction of your county party, of the state party, possibly of the national party. So your effort is needed, not just in voting, not just in being active on social media, but also getting plugged in with your county, getting involved, and really changing the direction of where this country and our party is going. I know it's cold out. We got people in shorts and sandals, so I'll wrap it up. But what I'll say is this, is that in 2017, and we heard it at the beginning, you know, President Trump told us to relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world and make a real and lasting difference.
Yep.
I believe that every person standing here today can be a leader that makes that real and lasting difference in the world. And at Turning Point Action, we are here to help you get to where you want to be, here to help you shape your narrative, to get your message out, and ultimately steer the country back on course. And so before we head out today, we've got our Central Committee forms here. Please, if everybody, before we get on the road, if you could fill one of those out, it would be my pleasure to get you in touch with your county party if you're not already, and help get you appointed or elected to that Central Committee. So with that, I'll say thank you all again so much, and I look forward to joining all of you as next year we retire Sherrod Brown from the U.S. Senate. We take back our White House, and we make America great again in 2024. Thank you very much.
Woohoo! Thank you.
You must go forth into the world and turn your hopes and dreams into action. America has always been the land of dreams because America is a nation of true believers. When the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth, they prayed. When the founders wrote the Declaration of Independence, they invoked our Creator 4 times. Because in America, we don't worship government, we worship God. Remember this, nothing worth doing ever came easy. Following your convictions means you must be willing to face criticism from those who lack the same courage to do what is right, and they know what is right, but they don't have the courage to take it and to do it. The more people tell you it's not possible, that it can't be done, the more you should be absolutely determined